ARCN TV, Mabuchiabuja. I am Hilda Hobson Cantwell. The International Crops Research Institute for Semi-Arid Tropics, Icrisat, conducts its research under 3 global research programs: Accelerated Crop Improvement, Resilient Farm and Food System, and Enabling Systems Transformation. The Icrisat Geneva serves as a repository for the collection of exemplars of the 6 mandate crops: sorghum, pearl millet, finger millet, chickpea, pigeon pea, and groundnut. Most of Icrisat's crops improvement research is directed to deliver climate-resilient improved crop varieties with pests and diseases resistance, improved nutritional quality and market-preferred traits, and improved genetic gains. Based on an econometric analysis of time series data for 3 different types of agricultural areas, that is, the irrigated, high potential rain-fed, and low potential rain-fed. Moreover, additional crop research investment in low potential rain-fed areas lifts more people out of poverty than the other 2 types of areas. Icrisat improved varieties have been widely adopted and accepted and has a positive result in the semi-arid tropical areas. The Icrisat Steering Committee, headed by Dr. Ignatius and the Executive Secretary of Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, ARCN, Professor Garba Hamidu Sharuputu, met with other team members through a Zoom meeting to awaken the duties and obligations of Icrisat in Nigeria and fight against food security.
I'm co-hosting this meeting together with my dear brother, the sorghum man. You know, I'm also venturing into sorghum now, from livestock to sorghum.
That's very
so you are highly welcome. Can we please put on our video so that the Secretariat want to have a shot? We're going to rush over it very quickly. The most important thing is let us get the subject matter very clearly so that we'll be able to move ahead.
Dr. Ignatius welcomed and appreciated the reawakened call and the collaboration of ARCN in offering and to kickstart the new project. Professor Garba Hamidu Sharuputu, ESARCN, in the same vein, pledged their unending support from the ministry to the research institutes and colleges. He added that farmers will now have access to improved seeds from seeds entrepreneur for better yielding.
And the Executive Secretary, ARCN, in the person of Professor Garba Sharuputu, the African Director in absentia, Dr. Janila, from our headquarters, India, Dr. Bright. I'm not jumping Professor Jibril, the CDA Director. I will come back to you. All other colleagues, I am very delighted for having this meeting after almost 5 years of disengagement. This is the first meeting since before COVID, and I feel honored to host this meeting as giving the support from the Executive Secretary of ARCN, and therefore, as we know what the Icrisat Steering Committee is all about, is as a result of when actually Icrisat disengaged in 2002, there was a recall, and it resumed back in 2010. And as a result of that, a kind of steering committee to update progress of research was inaugurated. which the executive directors of IR, LCRI, and my kind friend, Professor Jibril, the CDA director, came into a kind of MOU to look at how Icrisat can stabilize and make meaningful contribution to the national research for development. In fact, we are given a kind of opportunity to now align and work alongside with the national research programs. So this meeting is crucial because it is going to like kickstart what we have probably forgotten, so that we will now bear our responsibilities and see how we can move forward.
Just for us to know that within the African continent, it's a known fact that policies of government, they either somersault or they change from one regime to the other. You are quite aware of the fact that Nigeria has a new government in place, and the world over we are aware of the threat of hunger and food security that is facing this country. Now, the current administration has declared emergency in the area of food security, and for a very long time now, since they came on board, they have been battling with the issue of how to actually increase productivity. One of the measures taken by this administration is to try and see if we can improve the production of stable crops. And the stable crops fall, directly within the mandate of Icrisat, be it sorghum, groundnut, millet, and you name it. So because of this deliberate policy of making sure that we target quick maturing crop, the reactivation of the steering committee meeting becomes very, very important. Again, within the Nigerian context, the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria has undergone 2 or 3 amendments that has brought the governing board of all the agricultural research institutes under one body. This again is important because there is a need for all the agricultural research institutions to come together and try to see if they can focus, so that we will run away from the issue of duplication of functions or duplication of mandate crops. Of course, we are all aware that within the African continent, various agricultural research institutes have capacity to undertake research, and we have the human resources to undertake research in various areas. Collaboration in that respect is very, very important, but at least we have to maintain our various mandates in order to make sure that we forge ahead. This, to us, is something that we must all look to, because a hunger in one nation is a hunger in all nations all over the world, and we have already seen it. Now, Icrisat has also undergone a lot of reorganization, particularly in respect of the 1CG politics that is in place now. We have seen the role that Icrisat has played in reshaping and causing a rethink within the 1CG family. So if that is the case, then we also, as members of this committee, need to also appreciate what is going on, so that we'll be able to follow up on whatever discussion that is taking place at the level of the 1CG. I want to welcome you most sincerely to this meeting, and to pledge that ARCN will continue to play its role, just as all other stakeholders will also key in, just as all the other members of the steering committee will be able to key in and give us all the necessary cooperation. I want to put on record the fact that we are very, very pleased with the prompt nature of the response, despite the fact that this meeting was just quickly put together. The response has been very beautiful, and I hope that we will continue in that manner. You are all welcome, and I wish you all the best. Thank you very much. Those, especially those that those off-takers, and trying to link up some of the would-be farmers, smallholder farmers, with seed entrepreneurs to try and see if they can have very, very viable seed. Icrisat also in Nigeria has been permitted to actually move into the nooks and crannies, giving lectures, trying to extend their services and educate farmers on the way to manage their crops. So as far as Nigeria is concerned, we are receiving Icrisat with all our arms open and allowing them to actually key into our activities. I know that the country rep will be able to explain to us these two bullets, 1 and 2, in terms of the ATAPS and then Hope Avisa.
Remarks were also received from virtual members who also pledged their commitment to fight against food security.
Dr. Rebbi Haraba, she's not in the meeting. So on her behalf, I'll share a few thoughts with you all. First of all, thank you for having me in this meeting. And your welcome remarks have already put the spirit of this meeting, that working together, collaboration, avoiding duplications. I think these are the messages and the thoughts which should resonate as we move forward and as we together come together for the benefit of the smallholder farmers and also other value chain actors. So, from Icrisat perspective, what I want to share is you all know that we are the leaders in the crop breeding, improving genetics of the 6 mandate crops, and this leadership, we didn't do it all by ourselves. It's again a teamwork between the national program partners, advanced research institutes, and Icrisat. Icrisat is just able to coordinate these activities at the global level. Thank you for all that support, particularly the kind of support we receive from Nigeria is remarkable. So, and thanks also at this stage to Angaravai for all his work and the network he maintains and the good connections he maintains. So now that we are back in CGIAR, the only difficulty we had during the time when we were not in the one CGIAR is we were not able to extensively run the MET network, that is multi-environment testing. Again, despite funding challenges, I would don't hesitate to acknowledge the national program partners who came forward and to continue this testing despite the funding challenges. So that's the gap we had. We could somehow maintain our breeding pipelines both at the 2 places in Africa and also in headquarters. And then we are making good strides now. And now with back in CG, I see there are positive vibes across all the actors and all the national partners. They're really happy that we are back into the 1CG. So that, they are feeling that, the impetus for these crops, particularly groundnuts, sorghum, pearl millet, will be regained with the Icrisat being back to 1CG. Yeah? And the donor commitment across the globe is strong for Icrisat, and we see all this as positive. And more than anything, the kind of support and the kind of long relations we have nurtured with the national program partners, I think that's our strength to move forward. And I just want to say thank you as I close this short thoughts from my side. Thank you.
Well, just briefly to say that we are happy that this meeting is taking place, and we are happy to have Icrisat back. In fact, when Icrisat temporarily disengaged from the 1CG, Agarawai can testify we did it. Because I said this is a marriage that cannot be broken. And we are happy that Icrisat is back, and we can openly continue our relationship as we have done in time past. And we expect that this is going to be beneficial to everyone. So I wish you all a happy deliberation for this moment. Thank you.
Ignatius highlighted more on their mandates, obligations, success, and dreams of Icrisat.
So in terms of logistics, I think MOU was signed in 2008, and I think what even helped in signing the MOU was when at the beginning of such meetings, IR promised to give Icrisat a block of offices, which currently, before we even had the extension so-called to say, in that, since 2010 then, there have been a lot of progress in terms of research implementation. I think we had run together 5 international projects, 5 national projects, and about 4 that is ongoing. Among the international research collaboration, we had Hope Phase 1 and 2. We have also run tropical legumes from 1 to 3 before it was eventually merged into grain legumes and dryland cereals. In the midst of Hope Phase 2, another project came up that is called AVISA, that is Accelerated Varietal Improvement and Seed System in Africa. Alongside, we also ran a groundnut upscaling project. Among the national research collaboration, we had sorghum and groundnut commodity value chain during the ATA project, that is Agri Transformation Agenda. With CDA, we have run TRIM project, STAR project, and with FAO, we have run seed roadmap for FAO across Adamawa, Borno, and Yobe. Then with CRS, we have run millet sorghum value chain in Sokoto. Currently, we are running about 4 activities with IAA for USAID Feed the Future in Adamawa, Gombe, and Yobe. We are also conducting the crop diversity for food security in West Africa in Jigawa and Bauchi State. Currently, also, we are running the KSDP NADA project on groundnut value chain. Also, Kano Agropastoral project for sorghum village value chain with Sasakawa. For crop improvements, key achievement had been the collection of about 3,800 germplasm, which number have been divided into sorghum 2,005, millets 840, groundnuts 530. Then if you look at we have shared based on cumulative average breeding lines from sorghum, millet, and groundnut, which total to about 9,000. In this process, when we had the opportunity to run BMZ heterosis project, we had been able to do what we call genetic analysis to look at the diversity of sorghum as one of the aspects of the crop, of which we had about 2,000 accessions, which actually gave us information that Nigerian germplasm for sorghum has a lot of diversity that can be exploited for all kinds of breeding program in terms of seed maturity, grain size, iron and zinc content, maybe color of the grain and the rest of them. So a lot of characters were assessed to give us those diversity. Now, so far we have had about 34 releases of crop varieties, 19 coming from sorghum, 9 from millet, and 6 from groundnut. These are just sample pictures to see how farmers are happy, expressing the goodness of some of the materials performance on their farmlands. Of recent, actually this Security Smart Dwarf sorghum came from Sahel Consulting when we went for live display of crops. We took the Samsung 52, which matures within 85 to 90 days, called Drought Smart, with a yield potential about 3.8 tons. Also considered as biofortified with higher iron of almost 55 ppm, with high striker tolerant infestation. And when we took it for display, one of the things that interested the Sahel Consulting is that, look, because they were considering how can they help produce or give seed to farmers where they have these security challenges, where they don't allow them to grow tall crops. And this to them became handy. This became handy. No, go back to the face. So, in fact, right now there are a lot of formulations around it to see how we can multiply the seed. I think this has attracted a lot of concern. I'm even like working to, based on after this meeting, now sit down with the team, especially in IR, to connect with Sahel Consulting, how we can now develop a kind of proposal that this material can go parts of Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, Borno, and a few places where some of these Sahel Consulting are working and see how we can actually collaborate together. And that's why this steering committee meeting has been like scheduled to see that we can prepare ahead of the season. Then another interesting one that also was released of recent is the Bio-45 millet LCRC MV5 called Chakti. Actually, it was released in Nigeria in 2018, but also released in Nigeria 2023. The reason I'm showing this is in either Niger or Nigeria, the iron content remains stable and even a kind of steady. So that, and even is consistent with the hybrid version of it released in India in 21. So we can get these sources of information from Icrisat.org just to try to compare that what was released in Nigeria is not different from the other materials, because it has been used to even combat anemia in Niger. You can see this harvest, the lady standing by is in Niger, and that is what they are even using now. Harvest Plus, as a result of this, has like even had a press briefing looking at how this can combat hunger, especially the malnutritional condition. So this has an official handing over of some of these varieties to Harvest Plus, currently commercialized in Jigawa as a hub where these Dala Foods are collecting the grains and the cocoa producing company. So we can see the progress so far, but this is news from even Guardian trying to showcase what had been obtainable of recent with Icrisat and the NAS collaboration. In the process, we have also developed a kind of system policy, particularly that targets the community-based production system. In fact, as a result of this policy briefing, which is number 34, Icrisat, in collaboration with NASC, had been able to register 6 community-based producers in 2016, and as a result, that has taken up at the federal level, where they are even training people in different places to see this community-based production comes into reality. That will help with even the seed issue across the country. Along with CDA, there have been a lot of work on development of climate-smart farming technologies, particularly with the ICFM in use of inorganic and organic fertilizer, particularly using the microdosing technique. And I think right now in most of our villages where we are working, that technology of using microdosing technique is popular. In fact, in one of our analysis, it increased the yield by about 50%. So you can see even the cow dung is now applied as using microdosing. Another progress that we have also recorded, which we should have been having a kind of annual review, is the development of this sorghum pearl millet stover chopper technology. That actually has taken off in many villages where there is like helping again this crop livestock integration. We can see going by the normal way of feeding livestock with corn stalk, they only take 10% using the leaves. But now, with the introduction of the stover chopper, especially during the ATAPS project, when you grind, you are taking about the animals now can take about 90% of the stock when you mix it with either groundnut hulls or cowpea byproduct, and that has been used in fattening animals in many quarters, and that has in some places reduced the farmer header conflicts. Another technology is the nutrition sensitive recipes. If you go to some of these rural communities now, you find out producing this sorghum snack, instead of using 100% flour that is very costly, they go for sorghum flour or millet flour. They produce even sorghum cake and sorghum spaghetti as a value addition. A lot of youths, especially the ladies, are taking this as a trade, and they are generating income. And we are even of recent, I think the book is under review of the nutritional sensitive recipes for household nutrition and income generation. We are working with IAA. I think there is a book that we are reviewing to see how we can put across the nutritive values so that we are just not turning out junks into the market like we find in the supermarkets. But these are real products that, and along with this, we also have sorghum composite flours. I know of recent it was launched with CDA.
Thank you for being a part of the program and this episode. Keep updated with us next time for another interesting topic or episode of the program Icrisat on ARCN Television Abuja. I am Hilda Hansen Phantom saying, take good care of yourself.